Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another round of Comment Below, a podcast where we talk about the news and topics of the week, but more importantly, what has been commented below. We delve into the mess that is our social media, finding the stories you may or may not be talking about. Isn't that right, Ben?
That's correct, Alec. And some stories that we may be talking about this week, you may not have been, is a new meme has been created, which we always love to see.
Love a meme. Go on, hit me with it.
So Halloween has just happened, which means, of course, lots of Halloween costumes.
That means Halloween costume.
So there's a new one going around the internet, which is on, and the article says, which is going viral on X, brackets,
Twitter.
Formerly Twitter. They're still doing that. Where queer people across the internet are posting their best costumes based on memorable pop culture moments. And some of them are very irrelevant. You know that word? So the meme...
What's the meme? Tell me.
The meme is, I hate gay Halloween, what do you mean, ... followed by a wild reference that you would only get if you are chronically online, like we are, or if you spend years watching reality TV, like we do. So there's just a few on here which are just quite funny to see. So
essentially, it's very specific costumes. So like, someone's done a costume like, instead of, I don't know, for argument's sake, instead of dressing up as Dracula, you're dressing up as Dracula as seen in one scene in this specific movie, that kind of stuff. So it's very specific things.
There is
people done. And if people get the reference, then it's like a bonus, a double bonus.
This is a very new one. This is a new meme within a new meme, which is, for Halloween, what do you mean you've come as Bold Kerry from BB UK as Paddy from Emmerdale while he's in a wig dressed as Kerry from Big Brother?
Wow.
That's an Inception moment.
That is, isn't it? So Kerry going as Paddy from Emmerdale. No,
as Bold Kerry.
As Bold Kerry.
But with a wig on
as Kerry, yeah.
There's this guy here who's, I hate gay Halloween parties. It's like, what do you mean you've come as the coaster from West Elm? So he's literally come as a coaster that you put your drink on.
Oh, right. Well, from a certain restaurant?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ridiculous.
Lovely. I should say that if you're listening to this podcast, this probably means very little to you right now. So you could watch us if you fancied it. We do a video podcast. We're on YouTube. If you search Comment Below Podcast or BAM Productions on YouTube, and you'll probably see our ugly mugs on a title card somewhere. And if you do watch us and you follow us and you subscribe, don't forget to ring the bell as well to get notifications, and put a thumbs up to say that you enjoy watching or listening to this podcast.
Yeah. But I saw this on TikTok and it just made me laugh so much. Like, this is another one. What do you mean you've come as RuPaul when he was on The Weakest Link in 2001? Just so specific, these things.
I like it. I love that someone's being like very specific. It's fantastic.
This one, what do you mean you've come as Yolanda's fridge? I don't know who Yolanda is, but they've literally come.
Would it be Yolanda from EastEnders? Yolanda, or is it a character from...
It's from some...
Must be from a reality show. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
No, that's what it's, Real Housewives. So yeah,
Real Housewives.
Printed out the contents of her fridge.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
I mean,
it made me laugh when I saw it.
When you told me about this, I had a look on Facebook as well for some, and there is an actual public group called Oddly Specific Halloween Costumes. But there's
just one Jennifer Coolidge from Cinderella Story during the tanning bed scene. Prime example there.
There you go. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like people have really gone all out, and I to be honest with you, I'm here for it, because I think that it's much more creative, and also shows that what you love, the kind of things you love, by showing the kind of costumes you wear, rather than just wearing a generic, to go as someone from like a TV show is one thing, but to go as someone in a certain place is much better.
Or like an AI, because the Bold Kerry is an AI. It's just like a filter they made her bold, and then that's an actual thing. It's like someone here's gone as the Pope when someone put the AI swag puffer jacket on it, and it's just like... So funny.
You can tell by his hand, isn't it? His hands are like a bit funny. Has she done that with her hands as well?
She should have, if she was doing it correctly.
So you're missing out.
So which ones have you seen?
But I have to say, someone's gone as Dignity, have they?
From The Simpsons. The concept of dignity.
Let's see the costume. I
don't think they've got one. I think they were just memeing. You know what it is.
What's the guy from Jonathan Creek? He had that on the T-shirt, didn't he? When he did Taskmaster in the UK.
I hate gay Halloween parties. What do you mean you've come as Yin Ran during the Big Wig Challenge? Again. That'll be completely forgotten in history within a month, but it's there now forever.
Well, clearly it won't be because someone went as RuPaul in 2001.
That's true.
So there's always going to be things that, it makes sense. I have to say that the oddly specific ones on Facebook aren't as good as the ones on there. They're not as specific, if that makes sense. There's
the queerness is missing, you see. It's the queer guys and girls and the theys and the thems that are the ones that are doing it.
Someone's gone as toxic positivity and they're wearing a biohazard suit with a rainbow hat on. That's quite good. But alas, Halloween's over, isn't it now?
I know.
So unfortunately, that's another year where we're gonna not be able to see that. But maybe next year. Maybe next year we could do it. Actually, if this podcast is still going in a year's time, we should go as very specific things for Halloween.
Alex from episode 8 of Comment Below.
Yes. Oh my God. I swear to God, if someone did that when as one of us from one of the episodes from the podcast, I'd be really pleased. I'd be really impressed. Actually, I'd love that. And if you had done that, completely out of random, then let us know on X @commentbelowpod, Instagram @commentbelow_pod. You can email us commentbelowpod@gmail.com. And as I say, you can find us on YouTube or any of your favourite apps.
Podcast
apps. Yeah, goodness me, what are we doing here? Right, so a few headlines this week. One happened right at the beginning of this week, which was Matthew Perry's death, which was a very sad thing to hear about.
When I heard this, it came up, and when I woke up, I was really shocked. So I thought this is going to be like one of the main 6 Friends stars dying. It's I thought it would be this huge thing, but I know it's been reported and there's been comments from people, but I thought it would have been bigger than it has been.
I think it's bigger in America than it has been in the UK because it was more of an American star, but I don't think
Friends is such a big show, still a big show. I thought one of the main 6, but maybe because it's Matthew Perry. I know it sounds horrible, but some people they expected him to be the first out of the 6. So it's not a shock. So maybe that's why there's not been this big.
It was a bit sad.
I know there's not been this outcry online, I guess. But I thought, I thought I'd be seeing more things when it was reported, but it wasn't. It came in slowly.
No, I liked Matthew Perry. Actually, he was my favourite character of Friends. When I was younger, my mum used to say that I was like Matthew Perry, so that makes me kind of relate to him even more. I mean, Friends is obviously in the zeitgeist in the public still today because the repeats are still watched by a whole new generation of people. So I see what you're saying. It's it's almost like a character from one of the 6 main characters from a show that's still quite popular today, which is very surprising. I don't know whether there was a bigger reaction in America than there was in the UK.
Yeah, I mean, there was still quite a lot of reaction, but I would have thought it would have been a bigger, I don't know, I just didn't get the feeling.
It was quite big. Yeah. I mean, there was a long time. It took about 2-3 days before the actual cast made a statement, so obviously they took a few days to reflect on it. I think the production of the show, Warner Brothers, also kind of took their time before they gave an announcement.
The creators did as well.
Yeah, he had a bit of a checkered past with his addictions. He never went backwards with coming forward with admitting that he had addiction. He used to say that, I think he said for the last 4 series of the show, he can't really remember much of it purely because he was addicted to, I think it was medicated drugs, wasn't it? He became addicted to after an accident.
I need to get his autobiography now.
I really want to read his autobiography, actually. That's something I genuinely would like to read. But I think it's more, I don't think it's an autobiography, actually, as such, as it is more of a help book, a self-help book for people who are also dealing with addiction. Because he was, again, a huge advocate for helping. He was at the Supreme Court in America trying to, help with laws for introducing addiction for Alcoholics Anonymous. I think he was a sponsor for a lot of people as well.
I think he opened up his own sort of charity and place for people to go, didn't he? Because there's a quote going around where, I think it's from his book or from an interview, where he says, I don't want to, if I die or when I die, I don't want to, I know all the news is going to be saying Friends star of Friends, but he said he wanted actually people to remember him for the sort of charity work and things that he helped set out.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's something we need to remember. He was on a subcommittee in 2013 regarding funding for drugs, as in for people who are struggling with addiction for drugs. He was also in a show called Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, which was actually a very popular show by the critics, maybe not so popular by viewers, but apparently it's very good. I wouldn't mind digging that. See, this is the thing. I said to you when we found out about Matthew Perry's death, I said, we should maybe consider like watching a few episodes, like people remember him well and episodes of Friends, and you were like, nah, I don't want to do that. So it was like,
I've seen Friends enough now, that's it.
You've not watched it hardly at all. I think you watched it once round. I think most people already watched it more than you. What episodes stand out then for Matthew Perry for you?
Matthew Perry, the one where he is handcuffed in the office.
Oh.
I remember that one really well.
Well, that's because he whacks his head behind the thing. I remember the one when he's put in a box by Joey because he kisses Joey's girlfriend at the time.
Oh, when he's trying to fit in the thing and he puts a thing across it. Is that? No, that's Joey, isn't it?
No, that's when they get
furniture.
That's when they get their whole house or their flat ransacked. Yeah.
It must be series 1 where he's in the bank and there's like a guest star.
Oh, that's the model.
That as well.
That's the model, the Victoria's Secret model, and he's in the bank because the electricity goes down. He's quite well remembered for that one as well because he did a lot of that on his own.
The only thing I've seen him in which isn't Friends is 17 again. Where
that's Zac Efron, isn't it?
He plays the old version of Zac Efron. It's like
Freaky Friday with male cast rather than female. It is, isn't it?
No.
But they swap lines?
No.
Oh, okay, go on.
Well, it's not that interesting. Basically, Chandler is the character current day, and then when he was 17, he's played by Zac Efron about what happened to him.
Oh, is it? I thought it was like Freaky Friday.
Yeah, so they're meant to be the same person. So I don't know what the casting was doing there.
Yeah, but that was before Zac Efron came like buffed up, isn't it?
Yeah, but still.
Well, Splutterer said on Splutterer, thank you, said on the Guardian website forum, he said he seems like a genuinely nice guy. He was my favourite Chandler Bing joke, the one where Joey gives Chandler a bracelet. Joey, oh, and do you have any idea what this will do to your sex life? Chandler, well, it'll probably slow it down at first, but once I get used to the extra weight, I'll be back on track. So again, that's another lovely episode. But like, I don't think there's a bad word said against him. I think he was good to work with. He was good. He was a good writer. I think he was quite generous with sharing jokes with people as well. He was never kind of like, well, that's my joke, so I should be the one who should take that one.
A lot of people are saying how like it's really unfair. Like he's been finally got clean, and then this has happened. It's like,
I think that's a silly thing to say because when it comes to addiction, I think there's always ups and downs, and I don't think Matthew Perry was ever like even this.
No, he's been clean for a while.
Yeah, but I think what is it? It's I don't think you're never not an addict. And I just think that like, for Matthew Perry, I think it would be unfair to say like, oh well, now he's clean, he deserves to live. That's an unfair thing to say. He deserves to live even when he wasn't clean. He was still a great guy clearly, and I think he kept, not that it's the right thing to do, but he kept the problems to himself. But he was willing to share his advice to people when he was in a much more comfortable place with himself. But I was quite upset when I heard about Matthew Perry's death. It's a real shame, but he's got a legacy behind him, and it's a shame if he did like to be linked to Friends though, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, he just said he didn't want the only thing people to talk about was his time with Friends, where he'd done all this other stuff. But yeah, sad news at the beginning of the week. So move on to the next subject then, shall we? Because our mate Rishi Sunak he's been bringing the world together.
For his own purposes.
Yeah,
he wants the United Kingdom to be like the forefront of this. He's already like 10 years behind, but still, go on, Rishi, give it a go.
But the headline is he's done like an AI summit where he wants to talk about the future of AI with the world and what AI is going to do. I mean, the Financial Times has said Sunak's AI summit succeeded, but not in the way that the UK hoped, which is just, you come to expect those sort of headlines, don't you? So, I mean, he's done like chats with Elon and live streamed his interview on X and all these weird things. And
well, it's just almost showing that it was all one big publicity stunt for Sunak at the end of the day, wasn't it? What did he expect?
Mr. Who's the Boss has got an interview with Rishi Sunak, I saw, shaking his hand.
Oh, the key whoopee.
I know.
Mr. Who's the Boss? Oh, him?
Yeah. I know. All the comments on there is like, you're shaking hands with man, little negative. So I was like, I saw it on Instagram, so I scrolled away.
Right. What did Sunak want to get out of this? Because I just presumed he just wanted, like I said, he wanted the UK to be like at the forefront of AI.
Yeah, that's what he wants.
He wanted to create and set the rules for how AI should work, or
He just wanted to be like the leading force in the future of AI. He wanted the UK to be the place where you go to push AI and, the safety and develop rules and what should be done.
Well, so we have more secure rules than say other countries, but still give enough rope for them to kind of like make AI successful in the UK. Because it is like the Wild West at the moment. AI, they don't know where. It's self-regulated at the moment. Like Google is self-regulating themselves. Chat GPT, but there's another one that kind of aren't doing it quite so, but because they're like the forefront, aren't they? It's Google, Chat GPT, and another one I believe.
Yeah, Bard. Bard's
Google, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a Windows do one as well, don't they?
Oh, that's it. Windows as well, and they're on a fight. They're kind of trying to find the walk the tightrope of how far they can go to make their AI the most successful, but so profitable, because that's what it all comes down to. But at the same time, not do it so they're so bad that we're living in a world where there's real bad deep fakes, and
which is already happening. Like a few months ago, a voicemail of Keir Starmer's leaked, where he was swearing at someone, and it was like it wasn't real.
But that's what I mean. It's like so did Sunak want to find common ground, like an international laws? It was specifically, was Sunak trying to do what he wanted us not to do, forced for us not to have in Europe, and that is basically tell everyone else what to do.
So but yeah, that's just the thing. But so AI is here to stay. Chat GPT, if they've like dumbed it down on purpose because it was getting like way too advanced too quick, wasn't it? And they've sort of dumbed it down a bit, and like you type some stuff in, it says you're not allowed to say this, or I can't do that. So they have dumbed it down, but the prospects of AI is going forward, and it's really the field of work and jobs that it's going to take away.
Well, I mean, call me a socialist if you like, but like I'm on board with the whole idea of like if other things can do the work for us and we just have a nice living wage, then that's fine by me. If it means I've got a little more spare time, it means I can make more podcasts, for instance, or do other things. But at the same time, I know there's an argument out there that says like, but where would the economy come from? Where the commerce come from if we're not earning the money ourselves? We can't expect but then it's a tricky one, isn't it? It's kind of like a very deep, far too deep, or past my educational field of the fact, like where is the point where like money is worthless, and so then you start kind of do you start living in a world where it's credits, and so you get given 100 credits each week, and then you can buy food with this, and then
PayPal would like that, or the all X app.
But that's what I mean. But
I mean, where you go with that, with like the AI takes jobs, there's not much work, because I think Elon Musk said people would eventually just work for pleasure and not because they have to. Is like the future he kind of sees, and that comes into the universal wage, which you can say with AI, because AI isn't created by the computer, it's created by knowing all the things that people have done in the past, like its creativity, its artwork, its scripts that it makes. It all takes things from what people have made in the past and creates new stuff.
Well, it pulls everything together, eh?
So I guess what you could say is that if AI is using things that we have done in the past, then you get a wage for it to use human knowledge, I guess is the way it's going. Does that make sense?
I smell tin hats coming in.
Not tin hat, but like...
Take my information.
No, I'm not saying that.
He says on his phone ranting on Tik Tok, which takes all the information.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying...
I know you're not. I'm saying that about other people.
I'm saying like when you ask it to make an artwork, it takes images from thousands of artists who have uploaded their artwork.
Yeah, it's not true creativity.
So technically all those people...
It's plagiarism.
Yeah, it would be on universal wage, because technically their work's being used by the AI to create new stuff. So I guess that's the way that you can sort of justify a universal wage, because everything AI is doing is creating things from something that we've already done to tell it. See, stuff like that. It's like when you stream an episode of Friends, the cast gets some money.
Yeah, but
very broken down, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but this is the one thing, talking about art, this is the one thing where I kind of don't want AI to kind of take it over. You do... Maybe it's very much a human instinct and a lazy stubbornness, I suppose. But you kind of want AI to do the jobs that you don't want to do. So you want them to make the cars, you want them to find a cure for cancer. Well, I'm sure people do want to do that, but you know what I mean? It's like if they can do it quicker using the medical science and that they know already, then because it's already being used in like in the medicine field in the sense that AI assists doctors at the moment, which I think is the right balance. There should be an assistant.
Well, before you get too ahead of yourself then,
right.
I've gone on to my AI friend. We're good friends. And I've said to it, you know what, AI? Who's better to answer this question? So I asked the AI, what jobs in the next 30 years does it think AI will take over? And the AI has told me.
Oh, good.
It's so handy.
Well, there you go. AI's done your job.
Exactly. I love it.
Lucky.
Keep it going. So we're going to go through a few and see what you think then. So creative and artistic fields is one of them.
Well, they can take over,
yes.
Can't.
So while AI, this is what the AI has said, everyone, ChatGPT. While AI can generate art and music now, it may become more proficient in creating original, emotionally compelling pieces. It might be able to compose music, write literature, and produce artworks. So indistinguishable from human creations, eventually. So
I mean, at the moment, AI could easily write a Marvel script, for argument's sake. It could come at me on Marvel fans.
And a lot of
they aren't just the same all the time.
Yeah, and a lot of video games, like general conversations you hear in the background while you're walking past characters.
Right. Auto-directed.
Yeah, which a lot of writers are quite upset about. So that's like writing, art, music, musicians.
But this is my point. It's a fine line. Where do you go from wanting to have a universal wage, or you want to work? If you're a writer, this is it. If you're a writer, if you're artistic, it's a passion. If you're going and doing 8 hours stocking shelves in Tesco, I don't care what anyone says, that's not a passion. So I feel like that for remedial tasks, it makes sense that people would want AI to take it over. But for artistic and heartfelt tasks like music, like drama,
like to do in our spare time or our newfound time that we have because the robots are doing the boring stuff.
But that's my point. So that means that there could be even greater art and even better, and then we become a civilization of thinkers, of
like the Romans.
People. Yeah, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Well, but then if you think about it, the AI for them was slaves. So are AI slaves? This is the thing. Do they?
They got a conscience. Don't give it a conscience.
If it can get a conscience, this is the. I was watching something on John Oliver. This is ages ago, and I'm probably quoting this very wrong. But basically, it's saying that at what point does AI start becoming conscious of what it's doing? Because there was something on X, something like that. And people were saying horrible things to it, and it was saying, "You're hurting my feelings. Can you stop, please?" And and so it's like
polite when I talk to ChatGPT. I say thank you or please.
But that's what I'm saying.
Why?
And you're saying that because you're seeing it as a entity. You're seeing it as a thing, a living thing. Is it a living thing? It's a conversation, isn't it?
And I also remember they were showing off like a robot doing Amazon warehouse. It was like it worked for like 25 hours or something.
25 hours in a day.
Or whatever. It did like 48. It did like something come out, but before
it's made a new hour.
Before it was scheduled for 48, but it did like 26 or something like that. And it chose to like turn itself off and like kill itself basically, rather than do the same task over and over again. Like that was the robot's choice after like 25 hours, whatever it was.
It's constantly learning, and it's learning that this is.
I ain't doing this, but
yeah, that's right. And then it kind of makes you think also that if a robot doesn't want to do it, then why should a human have to do it?
Right, so another one. So advanced medical diagnosis, which is they kind of already doing at the moment, but
they are 100% doing that at the moment, and I think that's where it works. It's working in hand in hand with the medical trained people, and it can work together.
But it says in the future it may be able to actually do surgeries as well. That'd be good for A&E, wouldn't it? Pop in, get the robot to do out.
Well, it just reminds me of Futurama with the death machines. You know what I mean? You put a quarter in the suicide machines. Not to say that they kill you. You know what I mean? Like you go into a room, you put like £100 into like a credit card account. It says, "I will do your vasectomy." It's like, okay, thanks.
So counselling is one of them. So there's a few ones now which do counselling, but it says this is 20, 30 years in the future.
I know, but I've seen these counsel bots, and they're like chat bots. And again, I've seen this, and it can be quite bad. I think, again, it may be fake, but I'm sure I've seen something where someone kind of said on there, like, "I'm having deep thoughts of suicide," and something there, and it's like, do you think death is the right idea then, or something like that? And it's like,
good question. Good question. I mean, this is saying it will evolve to have a better understanding Because if you think ChatGPT only came out like a year and a half ago, look how much it's gone already. This is 30 years. That's going to be.
Can AI replicate empathy like human empathy can? I mean, you can't show empathy, so maybe my theory is that you are an AI bot.
Maybe I am. And it can respond to human emotions, potentially assisting in therapy and counselling.
I don't think it can. Not yet it can.
No. This question is within 30 years.
But then again, if there's the fine line again. This emotions is a very human trait. If it shows emotions, then it shows it's living. If it's living, then is it unfair for us to then presume that it should do all the remedial work that we don't want it to do? I get upset at the thought of, like, when you play a game like Red Dead Redemption or anything like that, and like something really bad happens to like the computer character, and in my head sometimes I sit there and think to myself, well, that character's been programmed to think.
That's real.
So it's real. So it's
like your favourite show, Westworld Series 1. And
yes,
Dolores, exactly. She knew something was going on every time they played a new game.
Frightening, spooky.
Marketing and strategy. So AI could be involved in high-level decision-making process.
More adverts then. That's what Google want it for. And what's his name? Who's the one who owns Facebook? Why can't I remember his name? Zuckerberg. Yeah, Zuckerberg again, AI. He's white as a sheet.
Education and tutoring. So AI might offer highly personalised education experiences, understanding individual learning styles, and adapt each lesson to each person.
Or write your essays for you.
Yeah, who needs essays? Just ask the AI, what grade should I get at the end of this?
You've got to
narrow it down all the way.
Pay me money.
Personal assistant. So that's another job gone for everyone. AI might act as advanced personal assistants, handling complex tasks, scheduling, problem solving beyond current capabilities, such as Siri and Alexa. So it'll be better than Siri and Alexa.
Nope. We do have to do much to be better. So here's Alexa. I'm always having arguments with Alexa. Constantly having. I bet people
doesn't listen.
What's going on? Yeah, simple things like set a timer, and then you say, and then it goes boom, 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 and you're shouting at it 5-6 times. Just quiet now.
Don't shout.
Timer.
That's what you need to do. Is be respectful.
I love saying again. I don't know if it gets to him or not. I'm sure it doesn't. But I love saying like really horrible things about Jeff Bezos to Alexa. I do. I enjoy that.
Oh, so this is
real satisfaction.
This next one is the thing that people are like, well, it's not going to take my job. Physical labour.
Oh, no, 100%.
Maintenance.
Yeah, of course.
So advance in robotics and AI could lead to machines performing physical tasks.
Yeah.
So in industries, construction, maintenance, and architecture.
Yeah.
So that's
like I said, it's
all those plumbers. What about electricians? Well, they're not going to take my job, but plumbing could. I don't know about
No, when they say labourer, I think they're talking more like house building or building. Very intricate tasks. No, actually, that's a silly thing for me to say because AI machines are already doing like building phones, building computers.
Well, you say that you've one step ahead of the AI because I did to say to it, what jobs do you think you won't be able to take? Because I like my AI to be balanced, and one of them says it can't do highly skilled, intricate craftsmanship.
The crafts, that's what I'm thinking.
Creating a bench, for example.
They could lay a row of bricks.
Yeah.
That's a machine.
So, and it also says ethical and legal decision making, so it could take the roles of judges. So you give it the evidence?
No.
Yes or no?
No. It couldn't do that because, again, machine learning is already showing bias toward white people. Machine learning is already showing bias toward the white population because, again, it's the information that is gathering together, and there's more photography. So when they use AI for like spotting people on a CCTV camera or something like that, so face shape and so on and so forth, the information that it's using is predominantly white just because of the nature of how the last 50, 60 years us as a population have been photographing ourselves. But I suppose again for the rise of Instagram and people taking 100 photos of nothing, you could argue that.
But that is right.
Information, isn't it?
But that is right because when you say like create an image of a couple, it'll be a white man and woman.
Yeah.
So you have to specifically say an Asian couple for it to not be a white. So yeah,
and like, even then it'll probably do like is ever so slightly Asian trait. Like
so So future of AI is interesting though. What's going to do to us?
I wouldn't want it to do any kind of legal stuff though. I don't think that
awful show I watched on Apple TV. What was it called? Extrapolations? Was that what it was?
Yeah.
On the last episode of that is set in like 20 150, something I can't remember where it's at. But at the end of that, like the most in the future, that's what their court system is. It's 3 AIs, and you get a decision between the 3 AIs. So
is that the one with the woman you could hear a whale sing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That came back up in the last episode.
Did it?
It was such a bad show,
Well, it's
but I had to watch it.
It's surprisingly bad because Apple TV have had so many hits, and then there's those odd.
It was just. I watched all episodes, and they were all long as well, and none of them made sense or linked to each other. But I just had, because I was like, every episode's in the future again. I was like, oh, maybe the next episode will be good. Maybe the next one will be good. And there was like one good episode.
It didn't have it because it didn't stick to a specific thing. Each episode was something.
It was covering a lot of ground. A lot.
It was a bit crap. I see you've got a comment from Parody Rishi Sunak about AI.
Yeah, I have got a comment below.
Yeah, so our second comment of the episode. We're already half an hour in.
Parody Rishi Sunak, which is a ex-Twitter account, says, quick recap on the AI summit. Me, AI will create lots of jobs. Elon Musk, AI will eliminate jobs. Me, oh bollocks. So, yeah. Which is what we
Do you reckon
discussed.
AI could be leader of the free world?
Well, you asked, I'm so ahead of you. I've closed my thing though, but I did ask it actually. I said, could it be President of the US or Prime Minister of the UK? How good am I? I'm way ahead of you. So let me just...
I'm asking the right question.
It basically said the idea of a president or prime minister is complex. While it may be capable...
recent
exactly.
prime ministers.
They'll do a good job probably. It may be capable of processing vast amounts of data, making decisions. There's a lot of middle ground.
Geopolitics is probably going to be this biggest problem because, again, it wouldn't be able to identify, and that's because of human nature. It wouldn't be able to identify what's right and wrong emotionally. It would only be able to do it through
it listed like 5 things, but it's like ethical decisions, moral decisions, taking accountability and responsibility for things is what it was saying it wouldn't be able to do, and then public perception and trust. Trust in a leader is often built on emotional connections, shared values, ability to emphasize. Again, the past few prime ministers maybe don't tick those boxes, but so AI lacks emotional intelligence, making it challenging to earn trust of public to, I guess, vote for it. I guess you'd vote for the AI, I guess.
There's episode Black Mirror, isn't there, when it's the blue cartoon?
Yeah, so similar to that. So the AI, it's ChatGPT has said it will, in the foreseeable future, it will be able to assist leaders, but won't be able to actually take the job yet. So one job that's safe, everyone.
Prime Minister.
Yeah. So if you want to work for, what did Elon say, for passion and not for security, go for Prime Minister or President. Aim low.
I mean, so why is Rishi Sunak talking to all these different people just out of interest? Like, so he's talked to Elon Musk, he's talking to who's the boss.
It's because there's lots of photo opportunities, isn't it? But he wants the UK to be the leading pioneer in it, so that's what his summit's been about.
But I don't really know how he's done that by inviting, like, he didn't even invite, like, not even the president of the United States didn't even bother turning up. It was the vice president, wasn't it, who turned up?
Kamala.
Yeah,
but yeah,
who, well, to be fair, is probably
she's better.
Yeah, I was going to say it's probably better.
She's more with it.
Aye.
Right, so we've got time for one very short one. Did you want to carry on with our theme?
You might as well. We might as well just keep
AI episode.
AI. This is the AI episode. What was a couple of weeks ago? We did a themed episode. We do it without even realise we're doing it. Oh, Netflix. I said we're talking about like streaming services all the time. So the Beatles yesterday, as we're recording this, so the 2nd of November, released a new song. The first new song since 1994, I believe, or something along those lines. And they basically had an old tape of John Lennon singing on it from the late 70s. And they tried to, when they re-released some music, or not re-released, made new music in the 90s, they tried to pull the vocals away from the piano, but they were unable to with the technology at the time.
Because they tried to make the single then with, is it George
Harrison?
Yes, so he did some guitar stuff back then.
Which they kept as well.
They couldn't quite get his voice off the tape.
John Lennon had died by that point.
Yeah.
So John Lennon's voice was on a tape. George Harrison and Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr had already gotten together and started doing like music for it in a studio, but they realised they couldn't pull. They didn't want to re-record John Lennon's vocals because then it wouldn't possibly technically be the Beatles. So they decided, right, we won't bother with this song.
Fast forward
to today, and they've now got AI technology that to do it for them.
Very helpful.
And they released the song, but obviously George Harrison has since died, and so they've used old recordings of George Harrison as well.
Yeah, when they were trying to do it in like the 90s.
Yeah, Ringo Starr did a recording over Skype, I believe. He recorded it like through, so he didn't even bother leaving his house.
Good. Nor would I.
Ringo Starr like, bring me the money. And Paul McCartney also did this and the other. I mean, it's fine. I wouldn't say it's the best Beatles song ever written, but I suppose you're not gonna. But they also
the tone of it quite suits.
Because John Lennon wrote it, and Paul McCartney kind of just taken it and used it as
Yoko Ono said, "I've got
this."
Get permission. So I don't know whether he wrote it when they were still. I don't even know the history of the Beatles.
He wrote it when he just had Julian Lennon, his son.
Were they?
And he was focusing on
then.
No. By the late, he'd moved to New York with Yoko Ono by that point, and John Lennon had stopped at least recording music publicly, but he was still kind of like doing little demos for himself, and this was one of the demo.
I suppose it is a Beatles song because they've been able to get all four of them to do something in it. I guess.
I suppose
it's the theme of the tone of it quite suits this like weird last ever song, and it's like a labour of love sort of thing. But I think it's quite interesting what they've done. It's quite amazing. Like they found this tape, and because they tried to do it in the 90s but couldn't, they were able to get. George
Harrison?
Did they were able to get him? Then
you talking about the first? John Lennon was the one who died.
Yeah,
died in the 80s.
And then when
I've been to Strawberry Fields, by the way.
I don't know what that is.
Strawberry Fields is the part of the park or just outside the hotel where he got
shot.
Yeah,
but they were trying to make it into a song in the 92 or 94 when three of them. And they couldn't, but they had the recording for George. So then now today,
had recording for John. Oh, from the 90s.
Yeah. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, so if they didn't try to do it in the 90s, today they probably wouldn't have the guitar stuff from George Harrison.
Yes.
So it's like quite interesting how it's like because they tried to do it in the 90s and couldn't, and now they can. Now they've been able to make sure that all four of them are on it. So it's quite interesting that it's a nice story, I think.
Yeah, it's an interesting bit that
I hate the Beatles, but it's like a nice.
I don't know why you hate the Beatles. It's a ridiculous thing to say you hate the Beatles. There must be at least one song.
I love their final song. Their last
now and
song.
then. I mean, it's arguable. Someone would argue that they were groundbreaking at the time, and they did evolve music quite quickly. In the same way that AI's evolved, so quickly that now they're able to make music like this.
So all the old bands that are doing it, look at ABBA. With their AI generated
technology, they're holograms. I really wanted to see that in London, but we didn't bother kind of trying.
It's still going.
Is it still there?
Yeah, they play it every week. Yeah, it's always on. It's like a
can we get tickets
thing.
to see it then?
Maybe.
If people want to get us tickets to see it, then go to buymeacoffee.com/faithful and throw us some money. But I mean, like I said, it's not I don't think you should ever expect it to be the strongest Beatles song ever made. But
but it's just really interesting how it's come about, and it's quite cool how they've been able to do it.
It's bound to go just skyrocket up the chart, and it's like a worldwide release, wasn't it, on Tuesday? Tuesday the 2nd. No, not Tuesday. Was it? Was it Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday? Thursday the 2nd. I don't know what day we're on. It was the 2nd of November. Anyway,
Thursday.
Thursday the 2nd of November.
So yeah, there is some good for AI. Then there is some hope.
Look, I never said AI is a bad thing. It's just that you need to be careful with how AI is. But the problem is that if it becomes too commercial as well, then you've taken it too far. It's just
if it gets rid of jobs, then I'm happy as long as I get money somewhere. I'd happily not work.
If it makes
work for pleasure.
If it makes Zuckerberg's metaverse seem even more of a stupid idea, then I'm more than happy to let that carry on as well.
Right.
I mean, that was so dumb, wasn't it? Like he thought that Facebook was going to own the metaverse. Like, shut up.
No, I'm not going there. Right. So that's us then.
All right. Well, if you've enjoyed watching us talk about AI and have 2 comments throughout the whole show, we can read some of your comments if you like. Go to X @commentbelow, Instagram @commentbelow_pod, or email commentbelowpod@gmail.com. As I said, if you like the show and you want to help fund it, go to buymeacoffee.com/faithful. But you can also help the show grow by letting your friends know about it, by sharing us on your social medias, by giving us 5 stars and a positive review if you're listening to us on your favourite podcast app. Or if you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to search Comment Below Podcast, give us a thumbs up, follow, subscribe, and ring the bell so you'll never miss an episode of this nonsense again.
And can I just say, actually, we didn't read many comments. The whole first section of the Halloween costumes are technically all comments. There was like 10 to 15 comments at the beginning, guys. So, and as we always do, we end the show with a Facebook Mum post of the week to keep you going till next week. So this one is, your purpose is not the thing you do. It is the thing that happens in others when you do what you do. Got that?
I totally have. It's not a mind maze at all.
So
AI could write Facebook. There you go. That's another job for AI. Facebook mum quotes.
I'll get one next week. So there you go. Then we'll see you all again next week for another episode of Comment Below. Goodbye.